Hello, today is 12/9 of 25, and I am here with a video of what I eat in a day on my keto journey. If you're new here, my name is Christy. I changed my diet to a high protein, moderate fat, low carb diet in April of 2024. It is currently 11:30, and I am getting ready to have my first meal of the day. So I have my bowl here. It contains chicken thighs. It's a sesame chicken dish that I had made a couple of days ago. I'll link to it in the description below. And then I added some shredded cabbage from my bag here and topped the cabbage with a bit of this G. Hughes sugar-free teriyaki marinade, mostly just to kind of soften the cabbage up a little bit to make it a little bit easier to eat. And then I will also have my coffee, which I will use coconut milk. I'm just trying to get this used up along with this Java protein powder that I don't particularly care for. So I'm trying to get it used up, and I will be sure to add in my collagen peptides. If you've watched some of my more recent videos, you'll know that I tried making a banana pie that we traditionally make over the holidays, which calls for a vanilla pudding. So at Thanksgiving, I ended up making it with Jello brand sugar-free pudding, but I wanted to find a pudding that I could make myself that would have better ingredients in it, particularly because some of those ingredients in the Jello brand upset our stomachs. And I did find one that I made using like heavy cream and probably butter and some other things. And it was decent. It was nice and thick. I thought, yeah, I could probably use this for our pie. But then I realized I can't because we have some acid reflux issues in our family. And they wouldn't be able to eat that pudding because it's just too high in fat. So I looked for a sugar-free pudding recipe that would use like cornstarch as the thickener rather than like the heavy cream that gets thickened up, so that we could use low-fat milk for those who have acid reflux. So I'm going to try that recipe today. It is 3:15. I went to the gym. I just did zone 2 cardio for about an hour, I think it was, on the stair stepper. I am feeling better. I actually slept really well last night and slept in, which I don't normally do. But I slept until 9:30 this morning. I think my body just really needed the rest. So I do feel a lot better as far as like my recovery. I think my like full day of movement on Thursday and then my hit session, which was on either Saturday or Sunday, really just like tore my body down. So I've kind of been trying to rest it. I think I could have done a leg workout today, but I wanted to err on the side of caution. So I'm just going to do some zone 2 cardio, and tomorrow I will have my leg day. I am ready for my second meal of the day, and I'm just kind of experimenting. I have 2 pounds of 93% lean ground beef that I cooked and crumbled with some salt, pepper, onion powder, and garlic powder. And then I added to it this Prego, no sugar added sauce. I want to kind of do like a lasagna, a noodle-less lasagna. So that's what I'm kind of going for here. All right, so I've got my cottage cheese, and this is Good Culture cottage cheese. Now, when I use the Good Culture full fat cottage cheese to make like a, a dish like this, the cottage cheese melts into the dish so nicely. I love it. I'm not sure how it's going to respond using this like lower fat version of it. I kind of have a feeling it's not going to kind of get as melty as the full fat cottage cheese, but we'll see. I think I would normally add a bit more cottage cheese, but the only other cottage cheese I have is like Highland cottage cheese, which I know doesn't melt as nicely into the dish, and I want to see if this is going to melt nicely. I'm going to sprinkle a little bit of parsley on this later layer. It really just it's subtle, but to me it adds like a nice touch of freshness to the dish. And I'm going to sprinkle on a little bit of shredded Parmesan. Parmesan is nice because it has more protein than fat, which a lot of cheeses don't. It's the opposite. So that's nice about Parmesan. And then I've got my mozzarella cheese. Now, this is part skim, and a lot of mozzarella cheeses are part skim, which means that it actually does have less fat than like traditional mozzarella cheese. So it does have 1 gram more of protein like per slice than fat. And like a lot of times, like you would normally use a shredded mozzarella, but I just really wanted to use like I want it to be like covered in cheese. So I am using slices. All right, I've got my oven preheated to 425 degrees. I just want it to melt my cheese. Like everything's pretty warm except for my cheese, and get it browned on top. I've got it all nicely browned. I did use my broiler. I let it all get melted down at 425, and then I turned on my broiler to make sure that it got nice and brown. I can see that the cottage cheese did not get all melty. Like it's kind of like I've got these chunks in here, so that tells me right away that it didn't get as nicely melted as the full fat cottage cheese. So it does melt nicely in my mouth. So that's nice. Like it doesn't stay firm, but it doesn't quite like feel like cheese either, which is what the full fat cottage cheese feels like. Like with the full fat cottage cheese, like I don't even feel like I need mozzarella in it because it's so kind of like rich and dense and like cheesy. It's nice. But it is nice that this one does just kind of melt for you too. After I ate my dinner, I was in a pretty high caloric deficit of like 800 to 900 calories. I think it was 900 calories. So I had an Okios 000 yogurt that gave me an extra 15 grams of protein because I was also really, really short on my protein. But I was really, really short on my protein and my calories. So I also had a Fit Crunch protein bar. And part of the reason that I had this rather than like making myself something was because I had to leave. I run my kids around a lot. So in this, there are 27 grams of carbs with 3 added sugars. And then there are sugar alcohols in it. And I can't remember what the amount of sugar alcohols is. Oh, 18. 18 is the amount of sugar alcohols. So it is 9 grams of carbs, which is why my carbs are a bit high for today. And then I also had, after I got home running all around and I did my cycle training, so I rode my bike for an hour and I felt like I needed some fat. So I had a donut, which a lot of times when it's that late, I will like I just don't eat, but I needed something. So I had a gluten-free, sugar-free donut. So it's made with like almond flour and coconut flour and protein powder from a local bakery in my area that makes gluten-free, sugar-free donuts. So I had that. So that's where I ended up today. I ate 1,600 calories. My protein is 175. My net carbs are 45, and my fat is 73. So I'm in a caloric deficit of about 600 calories, which isn't great, but it's not terrible. It'll be fine. Maybe I'll see you tomorrow.